Owen Comerford here for IrishBoxing.com in association with PD Giveaways with Glenn Byrne. Glenn, first of all, again, I said to you, apologies for not catching you last night. You were a busy man and mad to get out there. But I suppose, first off, just looking back at last night and in retrospect, a landmark event to have been on for, I suppose, an unfortunate side of things for Mick. Just on your fight then, how did you feel you got on out there when the bumps and bruises are after healing down?
How things on? Thanks very much for taking the time to speak to me, and apologies as well for not getting to you last night. Yeah, it was come here. It was good. I was very happy to be on the card. It was a great card to be on. Obviously unfortunate for Mick. In the circumstances that happened. Aside from that, though, I was delighted. I felt I was in a good fight. I felt I done well in my fight. I felt I won every round comfortably. And it was something that I wanted to do when I got out there. I'm happy with my performance. So, all in all, for me personally, it was a good night. Aside from obviously what happened with mixed fight.
And just on that, then, of course, it was a late rejig for you in regards to opponents that with the fight with Owen O'Neill initially being scheduled. Of course, that's disheartening in itself. But does it throw up any sort of different obstacles in your way when you're preparing for a certain opponent and you're going in there with a live opponent in what we seen last night and who proved to be tough as nails, anyway?
Yeah, so obviously Owen pulled out. I think it was the Monday of the week before fight week. Sanjay was scrambling around trying to get opponents sorted. It goes from being a domestic fight in a good position on the card, a great opportunity to showcase what I've been working for. I spent a lot of money on fight camps, so I was over in Holland training away. You're getting a push for that fight, and then obviously Owen pulls out, and it's looking unlikely that I'll even feature on the card. So then I'm like up in the air that I've obviously spent a lot on fight camp that I should have been getting reimbursed through the fight purse to then right, we've got an opponent in, the opponent's in, and his costs are X. So then I'm under pressure to sell extra tickets, so I'm under pressure to sell um to make sure that all of his costs are covered adds extra stress to me. And then obviously it's a late opponent, so anything I was kind of working towards for the old fight, I have to rejig a little bit. But come here, in all hindsight, I'm absolutely delighted. I got the fight. It was an amazing card, amazing opportunity for me. It was a stressful week and a half until we got everything sorted.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that people don't see behind the scenes in boxing, and I suppose you're no stranger to it yourself. The last 12 months or that, with different fights
Mm,
falling through, like of course, like as we were saying, you're preparing for such an opponent, and then you're scrambling trying to get into the ring. Is when the relief comes. Is there anything there, somewhat of it like a mental toll it might take in your fight week? With given the added stress and of course the financial side of it as well, which is huge. Like,
yeah, so I obviously happened to me first when Charlie pulled out of a fight on fight week before mixed card in September, and I was deflated from that. Now they got a good opponent in Jacob Quinn with a winning record, a live opponent who was coming to win. So I was still involved in a tough fight, which actually I actually think looking back at would have been a tougher fight than what the Charlie fight was. So I was happy in that sense. But when Owen pulled out, I was going from fighting a good domestic clash to fighting then obviously a journeyman, a tough journeyman. Daniel was tough, and a credit to him for taking the fight and still allowing me to fight on the bill. But as you said, it's a big difference. It's shown over me for a while. I should have been like I am grateful for featuring on the card, but when when Owen pulled out, I couldn't then. I was just disappointed in the whole thing, and I didn't have the excitement for fighting on the card. I was more annoyed how that my fight was a less meaningful fight. It was literally only the morning of the fight my attitude changed on it, and I was like, well, if someone told me I was fighting a journeyman on this card 6 months ago, I would have taken the hand off you. So I have to be more realistic about it and be grateful for the opportunities that I'm getting. So then obviously, as you said, the financial side of things, I'm really lucky that I don't depend on boxing as my sole income. I have a job. If it was depending on boxing, I'd be snookered because this has happened to me too many times. And I'm out of pocket for the likes of going abroad and doing training camps where you're thinking that the fight camp's going to reimburse you or the fight course, but I'm blessed that I've good sponsors and they've helped me and they're the reasons why I can get my training camps away. And then obviously I do have a job that is my main source of income, so I'm in a position that it's not too bad.
Yeah, of course, that like you're juggling two jobs really and demanding
Mm.
professions. It's like for a lot of people that don't see the things that goes on behind the scenes again, like what does it look like for you? Of course, you mentioned they're traveling over, training with Pete and all. Like, what does a schedule for a big fight camp and all look like for Glenn Byrne?
It's tough. I work in a data center. I'm an electrical engineer in a data center. I do shift work. So for 2 weeks I'm doing day shift. For 2 weeks I'm doing night shift. So it's kind of I know when obviously what my working schedule is. So I try and make sure that on my days off that I can get 2 sessions in, and then on the days that I'm in work, I either use it as a rest day or I try to get 1 session in. But it's obviously not really the best rest day possible because I'm busy and work. I'm constantly doing stuff. So it is hard. And the likes of if I'm trying to go away for training camps, I'm using annual leave. I'm using up holiday days. So and it's trying to be clever about the days, and like I'm just not in the position that some people are to train full time, and I wish I was. But I try and give it me all, and I make sure that the training I do between strength work to boxing work to conditioning, that I am doing what's required and what other lads are doing. It's on a busier schedule, and I'm probably not giving myself enough time to rest. But I'm grateful to be in this position.
Yeah, and just on last night, then of course, as you said, with the late rejig and all, it delays, I suppose, your preparation and what you would have had set and arrival times to the arena and then the later ring walk and all as well. Again, hats off to you. You put on a great performance there. Like as you're
Thank you.
saying, Daniel is he's no simple man to get around. Like he's tough as nails. Any shot he was throwing your way, he was going to take your head off
Mm.
and try to really into a scrap. And in fairness, hats off again. You boxed well. You got your job working. There was a check left hook on a couple of occasions. I think in the third round you landed a nice one that followed with a right then, and it took its toll by the end of the fight. You could see he was visibly leaking from the nose and his eyes all bruised up. Of course, massive takeaways for your behalf
Yeah.
to with how the schedule had changed so much and put in a performance like that. So surely you're proud of yourself in that regard.
Yeah, so come here, I'm over the moon. I set out what I set out for the night. I achieved. So within myself, I'm happy. I'm happy I put on a good boxing performance. I slowed down. I didn't go gun ho. I didn't throw for the sake of it. I was happy behind my jab. Probably could have engaged a little bit more, but I was winning the round. So why risk engaging more? Obviously, it would have been more entertaining, but my job wasn't to entertain people at that stage. It was just get out, get the business done, and I felt I'd done that. Obviously, I was fighting at a lot later time than I was probably expected to. So, for me, I I was obviously able to rest for the day. I was able to relax for the day. It was more so I felt bad on the people who travelled up. And originally I would have been on the main card, so I'd arranged the bus to get up at a reasonable time, and then stuff like that to change. People took days off work, time off work. They didn't get home till probably 2:30 in the morning. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm happy with my performance. I felt like my performance was probably one of my better performances. As you said, Daniel's tough, but I got behind my jab. My straight boxing was good. I didn't take too much unnecessary damage. He obviously was throwing when I was throwing. I got out of the way a lot of them. Have a little bit of a shiner there, but he didn't really do cause me a lot of issues. My energy levels are good. I could have done more rounds. So overall, I'm happy with the performance.
And then just after speaking briefly with Jade and last night, he said that the fight with Owen after it had been pulled, it is one that you are looking to get over the line in May, or that is like looking at the performance last night and getting six valuable rounds in. Surely it fills you with more confidence. Even Jay was spoke highly of your performance last night, saying that if you had to box like that, he reckoned it would have got over the line against Owen. And it's a performance that you're just going to build on for what you've nearly what, 3 months nearly, would it be?
Be about 10 weeks, I'd
10
say.
weeks,
So yeah, as far as I'm aware, there's been an offer sent across the Owens team. If he's injured, his injury should be well healed by then. He should still be fit. He was in a camp essentially, so there shouldn't be any issues. If he wants to take the fight's been offered. He's great terms there. Um, yeah, to come here, I got 6 rounds in. Jay initially wanted me to get a fight in before that own fight, but I fractured my ankle just before Christmas, so I couldn't fight on the February card. So for me, that's the experience gained there. That's I had a few little doubts in my head regarding the engine and stuff like that over the last few fights, but I've overcome that. I know what I've done. What I've done is working. So, regardless, I think if Owen was in front of me last night, I would have beaten him anyways. I'm confident on that. I'm confident in my ability. So, if he takes the fight for May, I'll be the same. And it's the same attitude. I'm confident I will beat him in May as well. But the offer's been sent across, so I would expect. I can't see why he won't take it if his injury will be well healed in time.
And of course, Jen, then just on you see, you were saying with the fractured ankle there a couple of months back, it's nearly worked out for the better. In you kind of try to find a silver lining that you could get a test run on it to see how you're moving. Like it's one thing being able to move well in training, but fight night is a different story. Is that probably something to take away from the fight last night as well, going forward as well?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was it. I obviously said training is different. Yeah, it's kind of everything comes into play differently. Got through last night, no issues. It was I haven't fought in six months probably since the September show, maybe over 6 months. So it was nice to get a few rounds in, 6 good rounds that I was happy I was able to control. As I said, my energy levels are good, my legs felt good, everything was fine. So I come here. There's a reason why the fight didn't go ahead. It's these things are out of control, and I just have to work and just keep working and take all these advantages to me benefit. And I feel like the other night, or last night, was one that will stand to me then.
And just to even say in retrospect, look from last night to today, how are you feeling physically after being out of the ring for 6 months? Feeling
Ge-
fresh or?
Genuinely, I'm feeling fresh. I don't. After all the other fights, probably nearly all my fights, my body's been sore. I've been having sore head, bumped and bruised. I do have a little shiner, but my body is genuinely fresh. I'm actually gonna go back to the gym in the morning and just start getting straight back into the swing of things. I do normally take a bit of time off, but I'm not this time. It was the plus side to not taking as much impact as I usually have in fights by getting stuck in and throwing for the sake of it. Whereas I was happy to be clever last night and I took minimal impact. So I think that's a big thing on why my body's okay. I done the camp right. I fueled really well. I have a great nutritionist, Charlie, who helps me, and I think it all just came together for me. Not like it was a great performance on my behalf. I'm happy with my performance. So I mean, everything has come together for me. And I think that's why it likes my body feels good now. I'm doing everything right that I should be.
Yeah, I was just actually going to get onto that there. Just with feeling so physically good today is a reflection on preparation. As
Yeah.
the old saying goes, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And it's not failure in a winning sense, but the just feeling physically off afterwards. So what was it, the changes I suppose made leading up to the fight?
Um, I've I have a new strength program I've been doing. Now I'm actually really looking forward to implementing it for this camp because it's a 10 week long strength program. I can only do 6 weeks of it because the fight against Owen only got 6 weeks notice. So I changed my strength work. Um, the nutritionist came back on board. I wasn't using him at the start of camp, and then halfway through camp, I started using him again. He's a wizard. He's brilliant at what he does. And then all the work with Jay, everything I think just plugged together, and I think that's what allowed me to have a nice run. Like last night was a nice move for me. And as I said, the body's fresh this morning. Like genuinely, it's the first time after a fight, and it's down to obviously not taking as much impact to your head. Taking shots to the head, it affects your whole body. Like whereas I genuinely feel fine, not a bother on me.
And you think that played a factor then going into the sixth round? You looked as fresh as you were in the third, really, um,
Yeah.
based on your like the training, nutrition, and so on and so forth going into the fight. in comparison to previous fights, did you feel a noticeable difference in the later stages of the round? And of course, as you said, not taking as much impact to the head has its own effect.
Yeah, and then there's been another few things going on. I suffered terribly with my stomach, and I've been in and out of hospital. I was actually in hospital about 4 weeks ago with it. And it's been causing me impact and stuff. So working with the nutritionist, I've been able to tell him, don't give me X, Y, and Z, and cut certain foods out and stuff like that. And I think when I look back at other fight camps, me pre-fight meals and stuff like that were all stuff I shouldn't have been eating. So they've all had an effect on me. I'm still in the process of being in the hospital and getting tests done and stuff like that. But I'm step by step, I'm getting closer and closer to find out, because when I train, I put 100% effort in. I do all the right training, and the last fights it just wasn't working. And now I think I'm after hitting the right road and the stuff I should be doing. So there's a lot of things that are happening that can have effects, and it's only like finding out through different stages and different things. So I'm happy. Last night was good for me. I'm happy, and I'm really looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely, and even just like looking forward to the next one, if it so happens to be on, or regardless
Yeah.
who it is it you're certainly looking for a domestic now at this stage. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for a good fight, a step up fight, whatever that may be. Owen, obviously they offered me the fight against Owen. His team reached out to me, so that's why I took it. I don't go calling people out or anything like that. I leave it to Jay and Butch. They obviously offered the fight to me. I put in a camp. I wasted a lot of time, money going away and stuff like that. So now I want that fight. It's a fight I really want. So that is one I think that should happen in May. If that one doesn't happen, it's back to what Jay and Butch think is best for me.
Yeah, and just even just back on the fight, and we were saying like you're no stranger to the disheartening side of things as well. Do you think
Mm.
you've been, I suppose, somewhat fortified by that with the fight? I know it, however disheartening it is, fight by fight falling through, but the feeling wasn't foreign to you. It was just to get in and get a job done.
Yeah, so I'll be totally honest with you, from when the own fight was announced, I said from the get go, I don't think the fight will go ahead. I said it to Jay, I said it's my partner. So when I got the phone call to say the fight wasn't going ahead, I was I was fuming, I was up the walls. But it was something that I kind of knew or kind of expected to happen. So that was like a logical, the reason behind it. I knew why it wouldn't happen. It's a hurt though, because I put so much effort into my camp. It's a professional sport. You put effort in, you put time in. So it still does hurt. So that's why I do want the fight. I spent a lot of time training for them, so I am hoping, and I'm very, very hopeful that it does happen in May.
And just bouncing back from the hurt of big fights falling through, and everything you put into it physically and financially, mentally, like you invest a massive portion of your life and your time, and it just can you elaborate just a bit on the level of I suppose suffering you feel from a fight falling through like that, when you're looking so forward to it and you put everything into it.
Yeah, you're like essentially your training camp. You're doing an 8 week camp, and it's all based on this one fella. I went over to Holland. I was training with Pete. The work we were doing was based on this fella. Everything is you're watching stuff. You're doing certain drills for him, and then you're told, oh, he's pulled out, and but then it's like from the right, he's pulled out, and then it's like we don't think we can get another opponent in, or we're struggling to get an opponent in. So you're going from fighting then to not fighting to then you're fighting to your journeyman, but at the same time you have thousands worth of ticket money that you might have to refund to people. You might not. You have to get money from sponsors where you've told sponsors you're live on the zone. They're going to get great exposure for their brand, to then not being part of the live show. You're on the YouTube section, so then they're not getting as much exposure. You've, as I said, I've organised buses. There's buses going up. There's people taking time off work. Like, it's more than just a fight. Essentially, there's a lot that goes on in the background, which is tough, but it is worth it. And it is all worth it. And I have to just learn to these things happen in life, pullouts happen. I have to stop letting them bother me and just keep going. And as I said, I'm very, very grateful to still fight last night, and I'm happy that I fought. I'm happy with the performance, and it's gonna benefit me.
Absolutely, and even you just touched on there with the likes of ticket sales and so on and so forth. Of course, it's refreshing for you. The crowd that was there last night in full voice that hung around till late on in the night, like you've seen it from the shows in the warehouse to the SSC and the Tree Arena. You've got a really strong following behind you, and of course, it's refreshing for you to see
Yeah.
that then that regardless of if the fight wasn't early on the card, and as you mentioned, people are working and to get buses up and down, and it's harder money. Surely it's a massive factor to in your subconscious, really, would it be?
Yeah, it is. It's a hard one. Like they're very, very good to me, my fans, and they're buying tickets. Tickets aren't cheap, but then as I said, they're taking time off work. They have to travel to Belfast to spend their day up there. They're obviously spending money on drink, they're spending money on everything that's needed. In the same sense, then they're also they're paying me to watch me fight in a domestic fight, and at the same time, then my opponent's changing. And it's not as good as a fight. So sorry, 1 second now. Could you get
You're all
that?
right, but
What is that? Yeah, got it. So if yeah, so there my opponent's change and I'm going into a fight that's not as high level. So it is it's a hard one. But come here, I'm grateful for it.
and you were saying there, like linking up with Pete, training and all. Surely it's a again and a lot. I suppose the psychological game of boxing, really, the added confidence you have that. I was Jay was saying you were in with Sean McComb and all as well, getting top level training. Like as you're pushing on and developing in your career, and it's still early days as of now. Um, it's still early days as of now. That's surely another added confidence factor into it that you're getting everything down right nutritionally, training wise, and of course, you sharpen iron with iron there. Like,
That's it, yeah. It's a thing that I said that I want to make sure that is I never ever look back and say I wish I had done X or I wish I had done Y. So while I'm in this position, I'm making sure that I tick every box that I can. I won't back down from like the likes of that learning from anyone, sparring anyone. Sean McComb's an exceptional boxer. I'm very grateful to get rounds off, and the people I was training with are really good level boxers. I always seem to be in with people who are really good, and that's what will bring me on. And it's the same when you're around people like that, the conversations, pinpoints, they can give you technical stuff. It's all beneficial. So I feel like that I am grateful to be able to be around these people. It's the connections Jay has is remarkable, and the same one as away last year. He managed all of it for me. So I'm very lucky to have met people I have along the way and everyone who's helped me. And it's down to Jay and stuff Jay does.
and in an ideal world, what does the remainder of I know it's only what 3 months into it, but
Mm.
2026 look like for Glenn Byrne? Is it getting fights in and getting that fights actually over the line? Is it?
Yeah, so what we now we're in March. I expect to fight May, I think July, no, May, August, September, and one more maybe. So I'd ideally like to have 4 more fights this year. Stepping it up kind of each fight. Not we don't have any. Well, I haven't spoke to Jay about any little roadmap for this year, but it's activity's the main thing because I didn't have activity last year due to fallouts and stuff like that. So if we can get active this year, 4 fights, improving the opponents each time, I think by the end of the year I should be in a great position. And whatever happens regarding who the opponents are, I'll wait and see what the lads think. But I just want activity this year, and the likes that if I can get in the ring 4 more times this year, finish year with 5 fights, I'd be delighted.
I mean, just before we finish up, anything you want to like touch on yourself? Any people you want to mention, or any notes, or anything, or even
Yeah, I want to obviously thank Jay and Butch. Jay and Butch have been amazing for me my whole career. The both of them work wonders all the time. Tommy McCormick isn't he's the best in the business of what he does. I'm lucky to have him in my corner. D Walsh helped last night. He's an exceptional boxing man. Great boxing brain. So I was lucky to have him there. And then my fans who travel up and down the country to see me, regardless of where the fight, they want to be there. They help me. I can't fight if I don't sell tickets. So that's the main thing. Supporters are huge, and then obviously sponsors. It's hard when you don't have sponsors, and I'm lucky to have a lot of sponsors. I'm just going to run through them here. I have Brian Mangan from the New York group. He come on board this year, and he's been great help to me. I've had Wes Hammond, the Lock-In, Ian Coyle. The three of them have sponsored me since I started as a professional. Every year they're just helping me more and more. I've Zen Control from the UK. Solutions, Fresh Whips have come on board this year. Divine Chauffeur Services, um, Celtic Contractors have come on this year, and I feel like I could be forgetting one right there, and I don't mean to be rude. No, that's them all. So I've had 9 good sponsors to help me this year, and I'm very grateful for every single one of them. And then obviously I shout out the likes of you, the Irish boxing community, the other Irish boxing interviewers and media companies, because they help massively as well. It's all about helping get our name out there and helping get us exposure. So I appreciate all the work you do.
Oh, well, we'd be nothing if it wasn't for the lads like yourself. Anyway, Glenn, there's
I
a
appreciate it
and
massively.
interdependence there. Like, if there's no boxers, we don't get the content, and vice versa.
Yeah,
So, but again, hats off to you, Glenn, for fighting last night, and despite all the hurdles that came along the way, and to put in a great performance. And hope you enjoyed your pizza in the end afterwards.
thank you. Yeah. I went home, I had loads of pizza and I had cake and had a lovely night's skip. So, no, thank you, Owen. I really appreciate it. And then same again for you, giving up your time this afternoon. I really appreciate it, mate.